welcome to the Monkees podcast. I am your host, Tekurah McCullough, and our co-host for today is Mr. Tom Hensley.
Hi there.
Hi, Tom Hensley.
Hi.
How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty well today. Better than before.
Yes, today.
That.
I don't know if we want to date this episode, but today is a pretty good day.
Today's a pretty good day. Yeah, we can just say that.
Horrible happens in the next week.
Right. You're right.
We sound like idiots.
You're always just more monsters. Like, how could they celebrate that horrible thing? Yeah.
Right.
Good point.
So yeah, I don't want to. But
yeah,
today
we'll just leave it in the vapor that today a good thing happened.
Yes, today was a good day.
Today and your listeners can figure it out from there.
So, Tom, I met you through.
Oh my gosh. Go ahead. Yeah, yes, your show. You talk. Your
my
show.
my college friend Annalie.
Yes.
And she married this nice guy, and it was you.
I thought you were good. I was like, wait, what? Who? She married someone else? No. Yes. Yeah, she and I got married in 2005. We met in 2003. And I met you, I feel like I met you before the wedding. Because you were at our wedding, weren't you not?
I don't know.
Okay.
I honestly don't know.
I don't remember. I remember only a few people at my wedding. So
I don't think I was there. I don't know. I might have been out of the Annalie loop,
okay.
I think.
Okay.
At that time.
All right. But you were back in. And of course, I associate with you with her other friend Dave Wayne.
Yay.
But yeah, and then of course I started getting into podcasting a few years ago, and I remember seeing you many times at the Podcast Comedy Festival.
Yes,
and so I was like, "Yay, you're in podcasting, or you're doing podcasting." It's so great. I've gotten out of it. I'm totally out of it. I haven't done it in years, and my podcast died on the vine. But it's kids and things like that just made it difficult. Especially it was 4 people is always tough to wrangle.
Yeah. See, this is just me.
So
just me.
Yeah, it makes it easier.
A little.
But yeah, I'm glad that you're doing this. This is fun. It's yeah. So that's me.
That's Tom. I feel like I really got to know you when it was my birthday.
Yes.
And I wanted to do a double feature of, was it The Dark Knight had just come out? I think it was The Dark Knight.
Okay.
I don't know. It was one of them. And then I wanted to go see Mamma Mia. I wanted to see both movies. And so we went to the Batman movie, and then we were regrouping to go to Mamma Mia. And Tom's like, oh boy, I don't know if I stay up for that. I'm real tired. And I was like, oh no. Oh, Tom.
You really should have played it the other way around, because I probably would have made it. No. I wasn't too jazzed about seeing that one. And I should have stayed, obviously, to honor your birthday.
But that kills me. You're like, oh,
I know.
boy.
Hey, know your boundaries, know your limitations, right? I mean, I apologize profusely.
Oh, no. It's hilarious. It's hilarious because I had no idea. I was like, oh, poor Tom's sleepy. Let me let him go. I had no idea.
I was just not. Wasn't. I'm sure that there was an element of truth in that. Like, I probably was a little tired. Like, I could go sleep now.
That movie was terrible. I love it.
Really? Okay.
I love it, but dude, Pierce Brosnan should never sing ever.
Yeah.
And then they do. Who's that other handsome man? Is it a Colin? There's a Colin in that movie, right?
You would know better than I
don't know.
I'm fairly certain I'm allergic to that film. I don't have any proof, but I'm going to just run with that I'm allergic to it.
There are parts of it that are brilliant and joyful, and then there are parts of it that are just like cover your face in shame. Yeah. It's terrible.
Much like life. So
yeah.
And I missed out on a slice of life, I'm sure.
It's fine. You are forgiven. And then I went to see, and then like my last birthday a couple of years ago, I went to see the sequel, and that was something. But at least I knew what I was in for.
Yeah.
Went in with open eyes. And also I met you in comedy. You were running a show. Yes. You were running that.
That's right. I was running. Well, I mean, I think when I met you, I was actually, I'm not sure when exactly, but back in the day, like we were 15, 14 years ago. I helped run comedy, which before it was Comedy Death Ray. It was called it was Comedy Death Ray first, and then they called it Comedy. What do they call it? What did they start calling it after that? Comedy Bang Bang.
Comedy Bang Bang,
yeah. But it was originally at a place in Hollywood called M-Bar, and I ran it with BJ and Scott. And then when they moved it to UCB, that's when I kind of like went, I'm kind of done. You guys take it, I'm done. But then I got the itch again to run a show at M-Bar. I started talking to Joe. He still had M-Bar. It was still going. It was like 2010, 2011.
Yeah, that's
so I with Vicky Pezza, who's still podcasting to this day, I think.
Yeah.
And then another friend of ours, Dave Del Greco, who is my lovely wife Emmy's friend. The three of us just started doing a show there on I think it was Thursday nights. I think it was Thursday nights at 10, which is a tough night. It was a tough time, a tough night.
It was hard to find parking.
It was hard to find parking. It was comics I'd get comics, but I couldn't get audience. I couldn't get anybody to come out on Thursday night at 10 o'clock. I thought it would be better than it was. I did have a couple good nights.
It was fun, Tom. Don't beat yourself up. It was super fun.
That part. I had some like really fun times. Watching some really amazing comedians perform to an empty room. Don't get me wrong; it's a lot of fun. But it again, same thing. Just like I can't keep doing this. I tried everything. I tried, getting more people. I said, I had a few nights where it was starting to grow.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of petered out again. And I just didn't want to keep throwing money after it, especially with I had a baby now.
Right. Exactly. Babies, they want food and attention.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. And then eventually I found my way into becoming a psychotherapist.
Which is awesome. That's so amazing.
Yeah. I just graduated this year and I'm working towards my licensure. And now I tell people how crazy they are. No, I'm kidding. I don't do that. I just judge them secretly.
Of course.
But that's what I'm doing now. Yeah.
How exciting. The life of Tom Hensley.
That's my life. And and we now have two kids who are hopefully won't storm into this recording at some point.
How old are they now?
My daughter is 11 going on 17.
Ooh.
And my son he'll be 8 in about a month.
Oh boy.
So, yeah, he's really into like the Minecraft and the Roblox and
all that stuff. Does he talk to you about Minecraft? Does he just
at this point I would love it if you talked to me about Minecraft rather than Roblox.
Oh.
The lesser of two evils. Because at least I mildly understand Minecraft. I have no idea what Roblox is about, but
I don't know what either one is. And my students, I'm like, okay, that's funny.
Yeah, exactly. It's that. Mm-hmm. Oh, that sounds really interesting. Tell me more about that. Really? Oh, and what does that do? Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, we're so old now, Tom. We don't understand anything anymore.
I said it the other day to Annalee. I said, these kids. She's like, today? Yes. Because you sound like an old man. I'm like, I'm 51. I am an old man.
Right. I know.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, the kids in online teaching, the kids like, they like think, we're online. I'll just use like my online vocabulary. And I'm like, yes. I don't know what you're saying to me right now. Yeah. What is that? And then they make fun of me. I'm like, hey,
yeah, exactly.
I'm the teacher. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
But I do know what sus means. I know that.
Yeah, suspect, right?
Yeah, that makes sense. Suspicious, suspect. That's logical. But if you just like throw some letters at me, I don't know what that is.
Sus to me means like let's really get into the weeds on this. Let's really suss this out. Like
yeah.
That's what sus means to me. So that their suspicion, their definition of it sounds sus.
Well, I'm glad we could suss that out, Tom.
Well played. Nice. Nice.
All right, so let's get into today's episode, or this week, or this month's episode, because it's been a while.
Yeah.
Honestly, folks, I've had some technical things. I have a new laptop, everybody, and hopefully, cross your fingers, knock on wood, hopefully this is working. All right, we are on episode 18. I was a teenage monster. Just missed Halloween, Tom. We just missed Halloween. Yeah. I was a teenage monster. Let's see, January 16th, 1967. Directed by Sidney Miller. Written by Gerald Gardner, Dee Caruso, and Dave Evans. Produced by Robert Rafelson and Bert Schneider. Associate producer Ward Sylvester, a Raybert production. The Monkees are hired by a mad scientist, John Hoyt, who wants to use the group to teach his monster, Richard Kiel, how to rock and roll and more. Nice. Along with your Auntie Griselda, brief snippets of Tomorrow's Gonna Be Another Day and theme from the Monkees are featured. Production notes. I Was a Teenage Monster was filmed in November 1966. Song, Your Auntie Griselda, written by Diane Hildenbrand and Jack Keller. All right, those are your notes. Have you ever seen a Monkees episode, Tom?
Not since I was probably in my tweens, maybe, or teens. I mean, it's been a while. I mean, I might have seen snippets here and there. Not that anything coming up, right away. But yeah, it's been a minute. So this will be fun. I'm actually looking forward to this since you asked me. Like, okay, yeah, let's get into some campy, fun. Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
this is one of my favorite episodes.
Awesome. I'm honored that you have me on this.
I'm very excited. And honestly, Tom, I thought I'd already had you on. I was like, am I repeating guests already? I honestly thought, I was like, surely I've had Tom on this show. I don't know.
No.
Sorry. All right.
That's all right. I look like your other guests, I'm sure. That's no.
What does that mean, Tom?
I don't know. I'm trying to. I don't know. I'm just.
Is that a slam on somebody?
I don't even know. I'm making hay out of nothing, and it's not even making hay. So.
Oh boy. So yeah, this is one of my favorite episodes. And Richard Kiel. You know who Richard Kiel is, right?
I love Richard Kiel. He's my favorite Bond villain of all time. He's so great. He's tall and awkward, and he's fantastic. I love him.
He's super awkward in this.
He's going to be great.
Great. And John Hoyt. I don't know that name, John Hoyt.
That's the name sounds familiar, but I'm thinking of like John Voight, which I know is not the same.
That'd be crazy if John Voight was in a Monkees episode, but he's not. But stranger things have happened. Stranger Things, an album by Peter Tork, had an album called Stranger Things in the 90s, 80s, 90s. Anyway, all right. So, I hope I hope I'm not rushing you, but I really am excited to watch this episode.
Yeah, slow down your podcast for my sake, please. Yes, slow your thing down, will you?
I'm trying to think, did I blow over anything? Let's see. Annalise, adorable, and I love her. Your kids are cute. I think that's it. All right. All right, so everybody.
That's what I do before I go out the door every day. My wife's adorable, kids are cute. Okay. Oh shoot, wallet. I need wallet.
That's a good plan. You count your blessings before you leave the house. Everybody.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Do this before you leave your home. Everybody. That's good advice for everybody. Okay, so wait. I think I forgot something. Let me check my little notes. Oh yeah, okay. So you can see Monkees episodes, online. You can find the tube where you can find them, or sometimes you can find episodes on MeTV, DirecTV, and Sling. But we're going to watch I Was a Teenage Monster, which is a funny title. I enjoy that as a title. I didn't get it. I
love it already.
At first, but I was like, oh, I get it. I mean, at first, like when I was 13, I didn't get it. All right. So we'll see you all after the show. Bye.
Hey there.
Hey, how you doing there?
I feel invigorated now. I want to be I want to be a teenage monster.
Goo-rah.
I just want that roar he has. That roar.
Yes, that roar is awesome. Every few episodes, I think of something that my sister and I used to go around the house doing based on this episode, and I think "Goo-rah" was something we used to sing from time to time. Goo-rah.
I think the Marines got this from their, that's what they shout, right? When they're "Goo-rah!" Right? Yeah, I think they got that from this,
Right, Richard Kiel. Who doesn't love Richard Kiel?
Right.
And there was something else. All right, well, I'll get to it. All right, so we start with a matte painting of a castle. A matte painting of a castle, which I don't know where that is in LA. The Monkees live in LA, right? They live like in Santa Monica.
Yeah.
So all these gigs are supposed to be down here.
Yeah. Well, I know that the the Mulholland Hills up there between the 405 and the coast, filled with those kind of medieval spooky castles.
Oh,
you just have to drive up some of those, twistier, windier roads.
Yeah.
And you will just, you'll be lucky to survive, the night. Your car will break down. It'll start raining, and you'll have to, ask for the kindness of some, kooky German professor.
Right.
Pick a street. It's going to happen.
It's going to happen. Rosebud Lane. Don't stay away from Rosebud Lane, though. All right. So, and then again, immediately we have the laugh track. I don't know. Somebody says something stupid and not funny, and I go, "Oh, that's right. The show had a laugh track for so long." And I don't know. There's some dumb jokes that don't really mean anything, and they knock on the door because this is where their gig is, I guess.
Yeah.
And Dr. Mendoza. Does Dr. Mendoza open the door? I think it is. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Dr. Mendoza, played amazingly by John Hoyt, who, if you don't recognize him, I had to look him up. But he, as soon as I saw his face, I was like, oh my God. He was in the very first episode of Star Trek, The Cage, the pilot episode. And he played the original Dr. McCoy character.
Wow.
His character's name wasn't Dr. McCoy, it was something else. But McCoy was based on him. And so, he was, and he Shakespearean dude, like really famous Shakespearean actor. So to see him in this is like, it's kind of like, when you see the name Paul Mazursky at the end of an episode, you're like, wow, okay, yeah, there's some talent here.
Yeah, it's funny. I forget how I just took all this for granted because I saw a lot of this stuff when I was really young, and I don't have the context for it. But you know what? That explains a lot of Dr. Mendoza's commitment to bits that aren't really funny.
I'm pretty sure that he found motivation for every line. Like what is my motivation here?
He sells everything. Just stupid vaudevillian bits he commits. It's amazing. All right, that explains a lot. Okay, so Dr. Mendoza, and they go into the spooky house, and Peter's mouth is agape for quite some time until Davy closes it, and we have a nice creaky door sound effect. As Peter's mouth is closed. And I think, I love this show. That's one of the things. And they say, hey, where is everybody? We're supposed to play a party. And Dr. Mendoza has lied, apparently. He's like, oh, no. I want you to teach a youngster. It's just a youngster.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, great. Yeah, a little kid. They're all excited, I guess. I don't know why. I'd be pissed off.
Yeah. And also is it here or maybe a little bit later that it creates a bit of a schism between the Monkees, because whereas Mike and Davey are like there's something wrong here, whereas Mickey and Peter are like, hey, it's so great, that's great, whatever, so but there's several schisms where people take sides throughout the episode. I don't remember if that happens a lot in other episodes, but it certainly happens a few times in this episode.
It does. You're right. I did not notice. I did not notice. So all of a sudden we're in the basement. You know what? My note-taking skills have atrophied. This is terrible. For some reason we're in the basement lab. Is the doctor down there, or we just see Richard Kiel? No, I guess the doctor goes down there. I don't even know.
Let's see.
All of a sudden, we're in the basement lab, and there's Richard Kiel, and it's like da 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 da, and then we go to our opening credits. But I don't remember how. Do they pull the sheet off of him? Is that what happens? I don't even remember.
Yeah, they take him down to the lab and reveal that he's, this big monster, and everybody's like, they're like really shocked, you know.
No, but this is before he even brings them down there. The audience, we know that it's Richard Kiel. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to remember. Like, how do they reveal it to the audience?
Oh, it was a weird like little reveal that there was a monster in the thing. Was it like a preview sort of thing? Or
I don't know. Yeah, that's what I can't remember. I'm like, wait, why did we know it was Richard Kiel before the Monkees do? But anyway, we're supposed to be like, yay, Richard Kiel. And then we have our opening credits, which the version I watched skipped and took me straight to a Kellogg's commercial, which was nice. I love the Monkees Kellogg's commercials.
I love how were they trying to set up that there's a cereal for each one? Like each one has his own signature cereal? Was that like if you're a fan of Davies, you get Rice Krispies or Corn Flakes? I should. I make sure I get it right.
I didn't know. Yeah, I don't think it's consistent. I think I've been watching episode like on the DVD. Sometimes at the end of the episode, when they show their faces at the end, they'll show a Kellogg's cereal, but I don't think it's always consistent. Like which one? Like the one they held in the commercial isn't the one that shows up next to their face in the closing credits. So I was awestruck by witnessing the birth of corporate synergy.
This is where it started.
Yes,
you had a TV show, a cereal, and the cross promotion that built right in. This is where the birth of that.
It is. It's amazing. Like I as a kid, I never saw I didn't see that they didn't run these commercials in the 80s. So I didn't really get to see them until the internet. And I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't know the Monkees had all these commercials. They're Kool-Aid commercials, which explains like every time they drink something in a Monkees episode, I swear it's Kool-Aid. Like when they're at a party and somebody has punch, it's like a red Kool-Aid. It's clearly Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
So that synergy is strong. It's strong.
Much like the birth of this monster,
Oh yes.
Right. There's a tie-in here. We're witnessing the birth of a monster, and it's strong, like you said.
Yes, the monster.
The synergy is there
of consumerism. oh, what have we wrought?
Yes.
So the doctor explains to the boys that he wants to teach the youngster rock and roll, and there's some little jokes about the little monster, and he's my fresh flesh and blood, and that's when Davy and Mike are like, yeah, that's weird. This is something weird happening. So, and then they go down to the lab.
Yeah, there's our first schism. Like I said, our first schism. Like there's something's happening, and some people are in on it, and some people aren't.
Yeah, Mickey's totally oblivious. He's like, it's funny. I'm like, no, it's not, Mickey. It's not a joke at all. And so they go downstairs, and then they reveal Richard Kiel. Now, does the monster have a name? I don't think the monster has a name.
They talk about giving him a name, and then they try to call him Frankie Frankenstein later, but I don't think he ever actually has a name.
Yeah, poor Richard Kiel.
Speaking of names, I love that in the credit, by the way, he's credited as Dick Kiel, which just
I missed that.
It's not. Yeah, he's a Dick Kiel in the credits, so I don't know if he was.
That's terrible. All right, so this was 1967. Now, when was EGA? I got to look up some other credits here, because I'm pretty sure on EGA he was credited as Richard Kiel. And that was early. That was 1962.
Sure. Okay.
But I don't know.
I know. Yeah. By the time he was doing Bond stuff, I mean, this is, I think, around the same time or close. He was going by Richard. So I don't know if he just changed it to Dick Kiel for, like, I hope no one sees me in this. Was it that?
Maybe.
It just,
it's the Monkees. It's a huge show.
I don't know. Who knows? Maybe it was Maybe it was Agent. Listen, just change it to Dick. Hopefully no one will. Hopefully no one will recognize you.
Yeah, he was EGA. It was Richard Kiel for EGA.
Okay.
Most of my Richard Kiel viewing has come through Mystery Science Theater, so that is
okay.
Most of
of mine is through James Bond.
James Bond,
yeah. So
that's where I first saw him. All right.
Yeah.
So all right. So he's revealed the little monster is a little monster, is Mickey's line.
Yes.
And he's made up like Frankenstein. He's got like the hip turtleneck that
they dress him. And I'm not sure I'm not sure how the metaphysical reality of that works out because they just mention it and then it changes. Like, does he have some kind of ability to change clothing or outfit?
Oh no, the monkeys are magic. I think that's just the way the world works.
Maybe I'm on board with that. That's totally fine. But I was just curious. I'm like, he needs a cool haircut. Bing, it happens.
Yeah,
like, you know.
Oh, yeah. They do. They do cutaways.
But I didn't. Okay, I didn't know if it was the monkeys doing that or if it was the power of the monster doing that, like, I think or some other third party.
Oh yeah, what if that is his power and they just didn't notice? They're like, yeah, okay. That's his he's got Frankenstein bolts and he's got like pretty decent neck makeup to look like his head was sewn on. That's not bad. And he's got like really dark circles under his eyes. Peter immediately loves him and thinks he's great and immediately defends the monster. And the other boys, they refuse to take this on, not for the $100. And then the doctor promises them $200. And they're like, oh, okay, I'll do it for $2. Yeah. And then there's that weird cutaway. Like I was talking about, there's that cutaway.
I couldn't hear the line. Something about science must be something. I didn't hear what they said.
They say science must be served. They cut away to the boys in like lab coats, holding, beakers and whatnot and white wigs. And they all say science must be served.
They're all dressed like, I think they were all dressed like Einstein. They all kind of look like Einstein with big hair and mustaches and holding up test tubes full of, God, the budget for dry ice on this episode must have just been fantastic.
It's everywhere. There's a big cauldron in the back. I was like, wow, look at that.
Bubbling liquids everywhere with, clearly dry ice. Just like they must have spent quite a bit on dry ice on this episode.
But I don't know what that cutaway is about. I don't know if that's a saying that we're supposed to know. I don't know what that is, but that's weird. Anyway, it's just like random cutaway. And then we hear Gura. Oh, I love Gura so much. I think we get the cool scream, the cool growl.
Delicious with
the cool growl that's
by the way, Gura. Like it's just deep and like it touched me inside. I'm gonna say it touched me inside when he did it. Like, my reaction was Mike. I was Mike, and then I was like, like, it was really deep and threatening.
It's like, a great sound effect. I really love it.
It really was.
And then Gura is an old Transylvanian folk song that the doctor has taught him. And somebody asked what it means, and I think Mike says Jimmy crack corn, and I don't care.
Which,
And then there's a dumb joke about Mickey like almost knocks over a vial of something,
and that's his mother. And
Mike says, Mike says, "Oh, you almost knocked over his mother." Oh, stupid. That one was dumb. I'm not on board with that joke.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, like, and then the cut to the monster looking sad, like, you almost killed my mother, like,
right.
Like, the commitment to the dumb gags on this is just fantastic. Like I don't know, like I was really impressed. Like what they're really going for it. It's not funny, but they're selling it hard. Like they were selling it harder than the cereal. They were selling it harder than the cereal. I was impressed.
Yes.
Like,
he almost killed his mother, and pouting Richard Kiel. So stupid. All right, so then we cut to the I don't know what part of the castle this is. It has a stage and a dining table. Anyway, we cut to there with the monkeys and the monster, and they're like, oh, we got to give him a name. And
right, and this is where they dress him and all that.
And they get Frankie Frankenstein, and then Davy says, oh, that doesn't even sound Italian. Which I guess, was this the era of like the Italian crooners? Is that what that's a reference to?
I don't know. Maybe Frankie Valli.
Right. That's what I was thinking. It's like, this is like the crooner era with Frankie Valli and I don't know who else. Sinatra.
It felt like a way of dodging, like, an off-color joke or something. I don't know. It was very,
but we've got one coming. Oh boy. Hold on, everybody.
But it felt like a weird saying, like he doesn't even look, I don't know, it was weird. And then
and then here's
I liked the mausoleum gag, the mausoleum, like,
Oh, that's right.
that was funny. Like, I like that.
And that's one that I did not get. That one took me probably a decade or two to actually understand. Because the concept of a name in lights, totally foreign. And then what a mausoleum is, had no idea.
Right.
That joke meant nothing to me.
But you didn't care because it was the Monkees and it was goofy fun, right?
The timing is right and the hand motion is fun, where he moves his hand around all the way around the mausoleum. And I was like, I don't know. That looks fun. And now I'm like, that's good. So and here's where the monkey magic comes in, where Mickey is like, we got to change his look. He needs a beetle haircut and dark glasses and groovy clothes and a guitar. And that Beatles wig is something else.
Boy, isn't it?
It looks like a broom that's just been cut into like some kind of block and shoved on his head.
I think the handle was just shoved down his shirt.
Right. It's a terrible wig. And those little glasses are still kind of cool. I was like, I still dig those dark glasses.
Yeah, they had a very like, I could see Gary Oldman wearing those. Gary
Oldman in Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Exactly, yeah.
Yes. The groovy clothes, whatever. I don't know. They just look like the same clothes everybody else is wearing in that episode. By the way, the boys are wearing their classic blue double-breasted shirts and gray slacks for the entire episode. It's a classic look.
Yeah.
And then the guitar is like one of those giant, I don't know guitars. Do you know guitars?
A little. I know I don't know what kind it is, but it looked like probably the world's largest guitar. Beyond, to the point where anything larger than that would be considered novelty. Like,
Gretsch or something. It looks like a huge Gretsch guitar.
Yeah, but it's so big that like it looked like this is the largest guitar you can have without it then being a gag. Like a gag guitar, like something that doesn't really work.
It is oversized.
It is huge.
I guess on Richard Kiel, it's that's amazing, and that's how big it is. It's so big that on Richard Kiel it looks big.
Yeah, that's I mean, it's just like monstrous. Hey. But I don't know. They found, somebody must have said, "Get me the biggest guitar you can find without being ridiculous."
It's huge. It's always bothered me as a kid. I was like, that's too big.
Ridiculous. Yeah, it was big.
And then Mike says he looks like a long-haired, nearsighted. What does he say? Long-haired,
nearsighted
monster with a guitar or something.
Well-dressed monster with a guitar.
He says it so quick. It's so good. And then Davy and Peter are going to teach him how to move. All right, you got to move.
Yeah, right.
So you're trying to teach him to swing his hips. And of course, he hip checks them both. And Davy does a great fall with like a full somersault. It's really good. Like Davy falls great.
Yeah, he does a solid one. I was a little worried for Peter on his because he literally looked like he almost got hurt.
He did kind of just launch off the stage.
It didn't look like they had a stunt guy on set. Like Dave, just Peter, just throw yourself against the wall, or we'll have somebody throw you.
They didn't care about these boys.
Like I was worried. I was like, did he just get hurt? Like that was really painful. Like a real fall.
I had to go back and look for that. I never noticed.
It looked like, oh my God.
Poor guy.
Davies looked a little bit more pro. Like maybe he saw Peters and went, "Oh, I'm not doing that, man. You're gonna have to have to do something about that, mate." Like I'm not. Peter was like, "Whatever, just throw me. I don't care."
And then we go to the drums, and it's funny. Like as a kid, I didn't really care, and as an adult now, watching. Even though they're totally fake and it's paper, watching Richard Kiel destroy a drum set is very upsetting to me. Especially since Mickey spends so much time saying, you got to be gentle, right? You got to be gentle with the drums.
Right,
okay?
Yeah.
And then he just bashes them.
Yeah, because, I've been in bands and the drummers are, when it comes to their drums, it's Mama Bear time, like, don't you touch my drums,
Right.
I would help my drummer lift his drums. He'd be like, be careful with that. Like, he needed the help, but he also was like, really like, just set that down really gently. No, it's fine. I know I still have another 100 yards to go, but you're not carrying it the way I want you to. Just set it down. So to have a monster just completely destroy a set of drums right in front of the drummer is just like, what?
It hurts. And I know it's paper, but it's still, I'm like, oh no. Oh, and he broke the bass drum too, just from the power.
Yeah.
And then Mickey gets mad and says something about, what kind of style is that? What's wrong with you?
He's got some kind of style. Yeah.
Turns to holds those drumsticks in his hand and just breaks them with his thumb, looking at Mickey. Just snaps the.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. And then we're introduced to his little the doctor's assistant. Now, what? Did you catch his name? Is his name Groot?
His name, I believe it was Groot, and I was like, I had to back it up once just to make sure, but I do believe it's Groot.
Yes. Yeah, I wrote down Groot ?
Yeah, I do believe it's Groot, and I love that. I love that both Dr. Mendoza and Igor are both dressed like out of work art instructors, like. Like
smock. They got a smock thing going on.
Smocks and lab coat. Like I have to expect to see paint marks all over there.
Right.
Like, they look like art instructors. But yeah, it was like we don't like somebody didn't have anything in wardrobe. Well, we got these art costumes. Okay, just grab those. That's
right. Fine. Oh, you're right. Those costumes make no sense. He does get to say, "I live to grovel," which is cute.
Yes.
And so the doctor does the same, the whole old, it's too late for you to leave. You'll never make it home. You guys need to stay after. Well, I'm such a teacher. You have to stay after class. You have to stay in the castle tonight, and Groot will show you to your room. And so Groot takes them up to their creepy room where I guess they're all supposed to sleep in a 4-poster bed or something. And
yeah, that was a little weird. Like,
right. And we get Mike gets calls Peter Shotgun, which is always fun. That's a favorite of some fan fiction writers. They love making Mike call everybody Shotgun. So when they get into the room, Peter says all the comforts of home, and Mike says maybe your home, Shotgun, or your home, Shotgun, not mine. So it's like, yeah, Shotgun. And then that's when we cut back to the doctor and Groot. Dr. Mendoza, by the way. Mendoza? Yeah. He's German.
I know. But Mendoza is such like a I don't know, it's like such a nefarious name. It's like the name of every bad guy.
Yeah.
But you're right in that, like, why is it he's clearly German accent, German everything. Even like, the monster's speaking German at points. Right. And like, but his name is Mendoza. So I think were they trying to like make a pun on Mangala, or
maybe
I don't know.
Or maybe is there somebody in the crew named Mendoza, and they're like, I'm going to call him Dr. Mendoza.
I had a friend once that we were driving, and he was giving me directions, and he said, "I need you to turn on Mendoza," and then he immediately followed it with turning to me and going, "Nobody turns on Mendoza," like as though it were a character,
That's good.
So you know what I mean? It's like, it just strikes me as this kind of name that's like, if you're going to name your bad guy, Mendoza is on the short list of bad guy names.
That works. So, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
So as the boys are upstairs in their creepy bedroom, that's when Dr. Mendoza reveals to us, the audience, that he's planning some sort of brain transfer thing. And he's explaining it actually to Groot, and Groot does not understand. And that's a funny bit, but I didn't feel like transcribing it, so I'm not going to recreate it for you now. But it's a cute little bit.
Yeah.
We cut back to the boys. Mickey, I think it's Mickey. Does Mickey wander over to the closet?
Mickey and the first time they go to the closet was Mickey and I think it was Peter.
Yeah. So they wander.
Maybe it was Mickey and Mike. And then they go to the closet. This is just like, what the
This is the kind of thing that I love. So there's this girl in the closet just standing there in some kind of rope, some kind of nightgown with like a cross your heart rope thing going on. I don't know.
Yeah.
And they're like, who are you? I'm the doctor's beautiful daughter. Like, what? Why are you here? I'm in the sequel. I'm like, oh, okay.
By the way, that's totally how I introduce myself to people. I'm Diana Hensley's rugged, kind of chubby son. I never introduce people as my name ever. Like I always say, I'm John Hensley's 50-year-old son. Like I use my parents.
Right. Oh, this poor woman. I like her, but now you made me sad about her that she doesn't have a name. She's just the doctor's beautiful daughter. Oh man.
We know her last name.
Mendoza,
yeah. Right?
Mendoza, yeah. She's Miss Mendoza. She announces that she's in the sequel. The closet door is closed and she is forgotten for now. So Mike decides, let's turn on the TV to relax. Oh, and they do the fun thing where they turn away from each other and then turn towards each other and scare each other, which is I laughed out loud.
That's a running gag in this episode. Like there's more than one that happens more than once.
I stopped keeping track, but it makes me laugh.
I didn't count them, but I know there was more than one.
It made me laugh every time.
Yes, of course.
I'm a sucker for that.
It's awesome.
And so they go to watch the TV because that's what you do when you want to relax, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially one with cobwebs on the rabbit ears. That always calms me down. Yeah.
And so they sit down in various places to watch the TV. And I swear it's Dr. Mendoza's voice on the TV. Did you notice?
I know. Yeah. It felt like, is this closed circuit? What's going on? I know. I'm watching something downstairs.
So there's like a doctor talking about putting a man's brain into an ape or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Mickey is still committed to being scared because he's looking around like all nervous while the TV show is on, but everybody else is just Peter is just very into it, just immediately.
Yeah, they're instantly wrapped in whatever this is, not freaked out based on their experience a few minutes earlier at all. They're just like, yeah, what's this?
Oh boy, a monster movie? Great. This is no relation to what's going on right now.
I'm not at all traumatized. Please give me more.
And so Davey disappears into the couch. Like the back of the couch disappears and he rolls away.
Looks like he just fell behind the couch, like the cushion was loose and he just fell through it.
Yeah, he should have just been behind the couch, but
I kept expecting him to pop back up from behind and go, "Oh, sorry about that. There's something wrong, jinky with the couch." Like,
yes, pop up and go, "Oh, sorry." Yeah. And then Mike's like, "Oh no, hey, Davey." He says something to Davey, and Davey doesn't answer, and he's like, "Davey." And then his chair is attached to the wall and does like a little cool wall switchy thingy, right? Everybody loves a rotating wall. And so now Mike is gone and Mickey is like, oh, you know how Davey gets when he's watching TV, right, babe? She calls him Mike, babe. And then it's like, Mike.
It was the 60s.
Yeah, everybody was a babe.
Yeah.
And so now Mickey's freaking out. And then Mickey, where is this curtain? Because Mickey ends up in front of this huge curtain. I don't know what wall of the room this giant curtain is, this giant velvet curtain.
But he gets, Groot comes out and, Groot's last, sorry.
Yeah, Groot's last. But Mickey is like thrown to he's pushed over. He like basically face plants and then they grab his feet and drag him under the curtain. And of course, Pete has missed all of this because he is very much into this show. And then that's when he finally figures out. And then, as you're saying, Groot comes out with a net.
Just
puts a net on Peter.
Right.
Could have gotten Peter first because I guess he was the furthest away from the sides of the room.
Yeah.
Seems like Peter would have been the easiest one to fool,
Yeah.
But I guess he won't notice anything. So I guess that's the other side of it. It's like he's the easiest one to fool, but then again, he's less observant, so you can take everybody and he won't notice.
Yeah, you always go with the one who's watching the episode the most intently last.
Right.
They're not going to, notice anything's missing behind them.
Right.
So
that's the way you do it when you want to.
When you're ducking, pop stars in the 60s, that's how you do it.
That's the order. So we cut to them all strapped to a giant stand-up-y slab. It's so weird. This, I don't know. What do you call that? The thing that like Dr. Lecter is wheeled around on, you know?
Yeah, it's like a I don't know, like some kind of slab or something.
But it's built for 4. It's like huge.
Yeah. Yeah. Clearly Mendoza's been planning this for some time.
Right. Did he have to special order that? Did he make it himself?
It looked custom. It's clearly a custom job. Probably had to kill the contractor when he was done.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want that getting out. Like,
yeah,
that guy's up to something.
That guy's gonna talk. Yeah. So they're all strapped to this weird slab thing with like salad bowls on their heads, painted silver, and what looks like the innards of an old headphones. You remember, old headphones?
Yeah. It looks like they took the cups off and then just the insides.
The insides of the headphones are on their ears.
Yeah.
And there's like their arms are tied, I guess, or Velcroed. I don't know.
Yeah.
And so they're strapped in, and I don't know. There's a lot of dialogue, you guys.
It's this is a talky episode for as much action.
And I think it's why I like this episode so much, because like every line is like a joke, a one-liner, a setup. It's just joke. And they're dumb jokes, which was why I love them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's telling them his plan, and I think Mike says, "Well, won't that be dangerous?"
And he says, Mendoza says like, "Oh no, so and so says it's perfectly safe, or you don't need to have any fatalities."
Right.
And of course, the gag is like, "Who's that?
Who's that?"
Yeah.
Oh, Godfrey. He's the little boy down the lane. I love it so much. Godfrey von Schnitzel. Oh, Godfrey. Yeah. See, Mr. Hoyt, that's brilliant. He does a great job with that one. I think that might be one of my favorite jokes.
If you want comedy, commitment to comedy, hire a classically trained actor.
Yeah.
Your jokes may not be funny.
Nope.
But at least they are committed. Like they are not breaking that wall.
Godfrey. So he starts, I don't know, there's a machine, you've all seen a 60s monster movie. There's lights and machine noises, and dry ice everywhere. It's all stupid. Yeah. Nothing actually does anything. No. There's another joke about, is it going to hurt? It says no, but you won't be able to make a fist for 3 days or 3 weeks, which I don't know why that's funny to me, but it is. And then Davey is pleading. He accidentally puts his hands together and pleading, and then goes, "Oh, sorry," puts his hands back down.
Realizes that he's supposed to be
strapped down.
So dumb, man. I love it.
I love
I'm
that.
here for it. I love it.
And then the doctor starts calling out different. Oh wait, he shocks himself. That one's done. I don't know. That one's stupid. I'm skipping that joke. And he starts calling out for Groot to set things to whatever. He set something to mellow, which is cute. And then it asks them to sing, and this will transfer the musical skills of the Monkees into the monster. And so they all sing horribly, and one at a time, really sadly, really sad singing. And then, then the monster opens his mouth, and it's like somebody has dropped a needle on the Monkees album.
It just comes out of his mouth. Yeah.
The whole song.
Really slow at first, right?
Here we go, walk down the street. It's so stupid, and I love it so much. This is the album comes out of his mouth. Just drums, guitar, everything.
Music, guitar, everything. Yeah.
And so he smiles as he sings, and the doctor and Groot dance around happily. And I think we cut to commercial. And boy, this is dumb. I love this is the dumbest episode ever. They come back and Pete is crying. The boys are still on the slab. And Pete is crying, and Mike's like, "Oh no, Pete, are you okay?" And he's like, "Well, the doctor says, my tooth really hurts, and if he's gonna file it down and put a crown on it, it's stupid." And then I don't know what happens. What happens after that? I'm getting lost in this episode.
They're angry at the scientist, and they say, "We're gonna, once we get out of here, we're gonna call the police."
Oh, right.
And he goes, "You will remember not." And he's got this amazing I think it's just a stethoscope, like half of a stethoscope.
As I wrote down a stethoscope.
It's just like half. It's like a thing he's got put up next to his neck, and then he puts the other end, the heartbeat end, next to each monkey's head, and goes, "You will remember nothing," and they go, "I will remember nothing." And I was like, that there is like, I don't know why he's doing all this with the monster and all this with the monkeys, because that tool.
Oh yeah, that's it.
He could achieve so much power with just that tool. Like it's this. I mean, if you could just wipe people's memory, like there's a movie plot in just that thing. The next, Inception or what's the guy that makes all those movies about memory? He did the Batman movies. My brain is not remembering his name right now, but like that tool was like,
right.
Why does he care about any of this other stuff?
Yeah,
that's the thing right there. That's his key to power and fame. With that thing.
I will remember nothing. It's a predecessor to the Men in Black nebulizer.
Exactly. Like, yeah, I didn't.
Dr. Mendoza.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Big miss, Mendoza.
Right. All he creates creating a human or whatever, that's pretty big.
Yeah, that's okay. But
that's pretty big. But why is he wasting time making him a musician? That's the dumb part.
Yeah.
Wipe people's memories, creating life and wiping memories. You're good. You're good, Dr. Mendoza.
Yeah.
So he does that. I will remember nothing. And the gag is that Groot is at the end of the line and he says, "I will remember nothing." And he's like, "Not you, stupid." Then the next day, the boys are. The next day is the test. Can he fool an audience with the monster?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And so the boys are like getting ready to set up and perform for what? I don't know why they're going to perform.
He's just having them. I guess this is part of the gig, like that he paid them for, like was to play. But it's really just to see if he took their powers away.
So they all of a sudden, they can't sing, they can't play their instruments.
Yeah.
They try to sing and it doesn't work. And then I do like how Mr.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
I do like how Dr. Mendoza is now outraged. Like, what? I thought you were musicians. Give me my money back.
I got really sad here because it's just I was devastated. I was like, my God, how are they going to get their powers back? How are they going to get their musical talents back? Is this the end of the Monkees?
Right, like, this could be it.
I was sad.
Tom.
This took me to a low place. How could they let themselves get bested by this cretin?
Well, they remembered nothing, Tom. It wasn't their fault.
I know. How could they let this happen? I was sad. I was experiencing an existential crisis at this point.
Poor Tom. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry to put you through it.
That's okay. That's all right. I suffer for art. So.
Monkees art. Okay.
Yes.
So as he's ordering the monkeys out, demanding their money back, he presents the swinging android. Okay.
Yes.
An android. I always thought an android is a mechanical man.
It is.
This is a Frankenstein's monster.
It's a little, it's a little vague. We're not really sure. He did mention that there was a piece of flesh, and it's a part of my flesh and blood at the top of this episode.
Right.
So it feels like there might be some DNA involved in some way, but it's never really clear whether there's mostly robotics under the skin.
Oh, but wait, he did say at the beginning that he can hear you through the wires in his head. I do remember that pointless, what I thought was a pointless throwaway line. How could this monster hear us, Dr. Mendoza? What's happening? Like nobody asked that, Dr. Mendoza.
I think that it's vague. It's not well defined, but it could be dealing with a robot situation here.
Could be a robot. All right, so he's the swinging android, and he comes out to like the same fanfare that they use in every episode. And then he sings the song that they were trying to sing. Tomorrow's going to be another day.
Right.
Again, the entire record comes out of his mouth in that he's playing the drums, singing multiple parts, playing the guitar, playing the bass. It's all there.
It's a totally new kind of lip sync. I got to admit, like it is weird.
I love it.
Yeah.
And so then for some reason the Monkees don't quite go home yet. They're back in their creepy. Are they back in the creepy room? Yeah, they're back in their creepy room.
Yeah, I guess. Well, you stay in a hotel, you got to pack to leave. I guess I don't know.
What are they packing? What did they bring?
It's true. Their instruments all got destroyed or taken, so I don't know what they're really doing in the room still. But.
And they're wearing the same clothes.
Yeah.
I don't know why they went back upstairs, but they're back upstairs and they're like, oh man, this is crazy. I don't even know what they're talking about. Probably there's a joke. I don't remember. I'm sorry. I don't know why this episode has killed me. You guys,
they had to go back upstairs for the girl in the closet.
Right. But somehow Mickey finally remembers. Oh wait, I remember the lab. We were all in the lab. I don't know why Mickey and then they all remember and they run out and then that's when Mickey checks on the girl. He's like mad at her. He's like, your father took our musical ability and put it in a monster. What do you think of that? And she's like, well, you should. She's holding a script. You should see in the sequel, the vampire turns Davy into a werewolf. And he's like, I don't want to know. And leaves. So dumb. And so they go down to the lab and they're looking at, the machine, quote unquote, bits and pieces. And of course, now, did you know that they all have, besides personality, they all have personality traits and characteristics. And Mickey is the mad scientist of the group. Mickey is the mechanically minded one. So you might have thought it was strange that Mickey's like, of course I can reverse this. But no, we know this. We that have been watching for 18 episodes, we know that Mickey can make nitroglycerin on accident. Right. We know, what else has Mickey done? Anyway, that's the big thing that I remember is that he made nitroglycerin. He makes, he knows how to run eavesdropping technology. So you can listen in on different, So of course, Mickey can reverse the machine because it has been well established in season 1 that Mickey is a scientific genius.
Mickey's your hardware guy.
Yeah.
Every good squad has like a gadgets type guy, Yeah. There's always the one guy that has all the cool little toys that, in the Avengers, it's Tony Stark, he's the Tony Stark of the group.
Yes. Mickey is the Tony Stark. Right.
Yes.
So Mickey says, of course I can reverse this. And so we go to fast motion, my fun fast motion music. And they hop around and then they strap themselves in. And then Mickey's like, okay, as soon as I throw the switch, and then he can't reach the switch, which I think is really cute. Can't reach it. So they have to do it again. And then we cut to, it's vaudeville time with Dr. Mendoza and Groot. Here we go.
Yeah.
So Dr. Mendoza.
Is this to set them up that they can't hear what's going on when they're doing
this is to keep them busy. They all have stuff. They have bits to do so that they don't notice what's going on in the lab. So like, oh, let's go check on the monster. Hey, wait, mirror on the wall. There's a mirror bit where the doctor is not the cruelest scientist. I don't know. Did you catch any of that?
First of all, the mirror also has a German accent.
Right.
So it probably had a Spanish name as well. And then the phone gag, which is it was his mother. No, mother, I don't want bossa nova lessons.
So stupid.
I was half expecting, Dr. Mendoza is for you. Yes. You don't say. Right? I was waiting for that gig. Like, it was so clearly like vaudeville, like the routine. I was waiting for that classic Three Stooges vaudeville guy. Who was it? He didn't say. Like, I wanted that to I was like, I don't care. Give it to me. I don't care. And they didn't, and I was kind of disappointed.
Yeah, I know. I always think that phone bit is going to be funnier than it is. And it's not that good.
Yeah.
But I do like the mirror. I think he says he's the second cruelest.
Yeah,
and he's like, number 1 is somebody else in Dusseldorf. You're number 2, and don't yell at me. I only work here. Or you'll have to work harder and don't yell at me. And okay, so then we cut back to Mickey. All right, so he's done some stuff, and he's like, okay, are you ready? Are you ready? Okay, you ready? Wait. Okay, ready? Wait. No, wait. Okay, I'm ready. So there's a cute I'm ready, I'm not ready bit between him and Mike. And he has a cane. So now he has a cane so he can reach all the things. But you think he's just going to throw a switch. No, audience. He's going to flip this dial. He's going to turn this thing. They're labeled. Could you read any of the labels?
No, I could not make them out.
One was called Echo Canyon. That's stupid. And then my favorite part is when he just jiggles some coils. Just jiggles the coils.
Yeah, just
jiggle them, and then flips the switch.
Right.
And turns Richard Kiel into a super hippie. Because he says, groovy, man.
Yeah.
Dig. Let's go up to my pad. It's really dumb.
Yeah.
And I love it. And then we cut to the phone call.
By the way, another huge opportunity for a spinoff there with Super Hippie. All right.
Yeah,
Super Hippie.
Super Hippie.
Yeah, it would have been great. Richard Kiel is Super Hippie.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Right? I would have watched the what out of that show.
Oh, boy. So then we cut to the phone call vaudeville bit, and then we go back to Mickey trying again. This time when he throws the switch, Mike makes an evil face, and then with Richard Kiel's voice says, kill. And it's one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life. That face that Mike makes is so good.
Right.
And now I wrote down something that doesn't make sense. What happens next? Because I don't know what I wrote down.
Then they turn Richard Kiel. I'm assuming they were going for.
Oh wait, no. Before that, the next vaudeville bill. Now I remember. When we cut back to the doctor, he's like, "Oh, are you going to make me a big, strong monster?"
Right. Yeah.
And he's like, "Yes, I'll make you into a vampire." Oh, but I wanted to be a wolf man. Okay, I'll make you into a wolf man. Well, vampires are nice. I hate this bit. I've seen it before. I think on other episodes. I think they did it on the spy episode. The spy that came in from the Cool. Is that what it's called? Anyway, they did it with the spy was supposed to like, are you going to take me to Argentina? Oh, I thought we wanted to go here. Oh, but this place is nice. They do that same joke and it's not funny. That's not a funny bit. The indecisive second banana is stupid and I hate it. That's it. That's where I put my foot down. I hate that.
Yeah,
joke.
I was still sad at this point. So,
But have you seen that before? I've seen it before only in a Monkees episode, though.
I'm sure it's some kind of classic bit that just is not. It's lost to history. Why it's funny now? I don't know. I didn't really find it that funny. It just seemed like okay, whatever. Like it didn't really. It seemed again. Not to take anything away from John Hoyt and the actor who played Groot, like they sold it. There was, I wasn't buying that. That's all. It was just I wasn't in the market.
Mugs for like a good 20 seconds at the end of that bit. He's like, "Oh, but he's just basically
like that's funnier to me than the lines.
Those are the
Just give me 20 seconds or a full minute of John Hoyt mugging for the camera, He
mugs it up so big at the end of that. All right, so then Mickey, okay. Do you want to take this one? Because
no, I think this is all you. Because boy, woof.
All right, so Mickey tries again. He throws the switch, and then Richard Kiel going for an Emmy, no doubt. He pops his head out of the salad bowl. And then puts on a fey sort of voice.
Yeah.
And said, I would do this room in French provincial. The Monkees smartly say nothing. They look at each other uncomfortably and confused. And then he says, the color scheme should be lavender and puce. And then picks up a vial of something or this.
Yeah.
Okay, so... And then Mike just says, Mickey, what is this? Which is the right question, right?
Yeah.
Mickey, what is this?
Yeah.
And Mickey goes to put Richard Kiel, the monster, back onto the slab underneath the salad bowl. So ladies and gentlemen and everybody, folks, listeners, he turned the monster gay, I think is what was trying to be said.
I think that's what they were going for. Yeah.
They were going for,
I mean,
he turned the monster gay.
Feminine interior decorator was clearly flashing. They could have put that on the bottom.
And he Richard Kiel, he changed his not only his voice, his inflection, he even stood differently. He moved his hands differently.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's very interesting. It's one of two memorable gay jokes that I remember from the Monkees. The one is on a Christmas episode.
Yeah.
It's so uncomfortable and it so stands out. It's so like, what?
Yeah. It's I mean, I know that, it was the 60s, and at that time, like you didn't really, I mean, it just wasn't talked about. It was I think in the 60s, around that time, you didn't go down this road on television at all. So it was kind of like, in a way, for them, it was actually a very bold attempt at a joke at that time.
That is true.
Now it's like, it feels awkward to see it because you're like, this isn't funny because it's not, but they're actually, and you're right, like what their response was like the best response even for now was like, what is this? What are you doing? Like, that it actually plays now. Like, yeah. But so back then you're like, what is this? And that's probably the best they could get away with then too. I'm sure that was the only approved response by the censors and everybody else.
Right. Oh boy. This is a fascinating bit. Because you're right. Like, it wasn't like a common joke.
No.
Like on TV. It was like, that guy's gay.
Well, I mean, okay, you had characters that were like, you had your Paul Lynde.
Right. Everybody was coded. Not everybody. People were coded as gay. Like you had Uncle Arthur on Bewitched. And,
exactly. And that kind of thing. And like, I'm convinced that the guy that made Family Affair and then My Three Sons, the guy that wrote that and made that, was trying to bring the idea of a gay family into the norms, because both of those series had a man and then another man taking care of children.
Right.
So I'm fairly, there might even be research on this. I don't know, but I feel like the guy that made that, because it's the same guy, that he was trying to bring that notion into the mainstream. And that was the best way he could. So this was like it may have been like a little attempt at but I mean, mishandled, not well done, and just, it stuck out. It stuck out like a green pubic hair. Just like, what? What is this? Like, what am I looking at? What is happening?
But poor Richard Kiel, he does a good job? Question mark? I don't know.
Yeah,
He really goes for it.
I don't know if that was the director's. I'm curious if it was his.
Yeah.
I mean, it was probably written. It had to be written in a thing, and they just said, "Do your best with a," And I was surprised that Richard Kiel pulled it off for how he did.
Oh boy,
I didn't expect that out of him, and it was always funny whenever, because that was the thing. There was other moments where he would say like, "Don't do that," or he would say,
forgot
like,
about the "Don't do that." Yes,
like,
don't do that.
There were moments where he had exactly. So this was kind of in that realm of like, we see the monster suddenly become very human.
Yeah.
The robot suddenly becomes extremely normal. But then this is like, what? Yeah.
Just something else. Yeah.
Yeah.
And by the way, puce is a terrible color, and the lavender and puce is a terrible color scheme. And that thing he holds up is a gross green. Gross.
Yeah, I couldn't even tell what color was it. I was like, what the? Yeah.
All right. So Mickey, in his panic to put everything back and fix it, he knocks over a glass, and that's what the doctor hears. He knocks over a vial of something.
Not all the other noises, it's just that.
Not kill, and all that.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yep.
And so he rushes down and orders the monster to kill the monkeys. And then, oh wait, did I miss something? I feel like I skipped something. Nope. I don't know.
No, that's it. Yeah, they come down.
He comes down, says, kill the monkeys. And then Peter's like, no, it's me, Peter, your friend. He's a bad man,
Mm-hmm.
and he wants 60% of your income.
Yeah.
60%. And turns around to kill the doctor.
Yeah.
And the doctor says, no, I only want 25%. Kill Peter. And he says, no, get the doctor, Peter. And so the monster is swinging back and forth. And next thing you know,
turns into the chase montage transition.
We have a romp. Yes.
Yeah.
And Mickey, one of the things that's spinning in the lab is actually a stack of records. So Mickey drops a needle on it. And we have Auntie Griselda's playing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh boy. And now we have our romp, and there's so much happening. The villagers come in somewhere, and the villagers from the Transylvanian town that's located in the mountains.
I think they're from Glendale.
Oh, the Glendale villagers have run over to kill the monster. They have torches and such. There's just rompiness. I don't know what to tell you. There's a cute bit where Mickey pretends to drink from a big old, is it an Erlenmeyer flask? I don't remember what these things are called. Drinks from a big thing of red glowing stuff, and he pretends to transform. Go ahead.
I think it was Kool-Aid. I think it may have been Kool-Aid.
Like you know what it was? It was Kool-Aid.
Probably Kool-Aid with dry ice in it.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So he drinks some dry ice Kool-Aid and like makes a bunch of transforming, his hands over his face, all dramatic, but then he doesn't really transform. He's just Mickey. And then Peter taps him on the shoulder, and Mickey turns around smiling, and Peter is horrified. Oh no, it's Mickey's normal face.
It's the normal face gag. Yeah, it's classic.
Yeah, it's very cute. And Mike is pretending to play one of the machines like an organ, and there's the football huddle bit that they do in almost every romp where they huddle, and then like the bad guy comes over and like, no, we're huddling.
Yeah.
And we have cuts from the Danish movie featured in the revival MST3K. We have clips from Reptilicus.
Was that Reptilicus?
That's Reptilicus.
Because it looked familiar, but I was like, oh my god, that was Reptilicus.
Yes,
Reptilicus
Mike pulls a lever, and then there's Reptilicus in the fight in the end of Reptilicus when he's destroying the town before the dude runs his Jeep into him. So somewhere Mike unleashes Reptilicus. I couldn't remember what it was called for the longest time. I was like, it's not Gorgo. Gorgo was the British.
Right.
Although
it did look in the cutscene, it did look like he was attacking Big Ben in Parliament. Like, I don't know if you. The big clock tower that he was attacking. It looked like.
No, but I think that's like that weird Danish town at the end.
Yeah, maybe that.
Anyway, so we get Reptilicus, which is fun. And then Davy opens the closet door again. How to get? Somehow we're upstairs. We're all over the castle at this point. He opens the door to the beautiful daughter, kisses her, and holds up a sign that says, "A sequel? You better believe it."
I was half expecting him to, close the closet door with him in there. That to me would have been a Davy Jones move. Maybe Davy Jones later in the 70s when he was, the Brady Bunch, but I don't know. It just felt like close the door with
closing the
her
door.
There,
but that was probably too far. Right. Like, oh, what are they doing in there? That was a little too far.
Yeah.
And what's interesting is that in the previous episodes, they have like done freeze frames and put text on the screen, like an early Chiron, whatever kind of thing is what they used to do, and so I'm like, why does he hold up a sign when previously they used the text on the screen? It's interesting to me. I don't know why they did that.
Well, they spent the Chiron money on the dry ice for the episode.
Yes, that's what it is.
Give me a piece of cardboard and write sequel on it. Yeah.
And then we have a full-on nod to Bugs Bunny where they are all grooming the monster, where somebody's filing his nails.
Monsters are the most interesting people. Yes, it was. They were totally grooming him.
It was a Bugs Bunny moment. It made me so happy. And we get some good Davy mugging. The monster is looking around for everybody, and he can't find them. He walks away, and they've all lined up, hidden behind him, and Davy's in front, and he makes a good ha-ha face to the camera. And then the monster is now roasting marshmallows with the Glendale villagers, which is cute. I think we get more shots of Reptilicus.
Love that.
And then, and then they tie up every villain is thwarted by being tied up in some manner.
Yes.
Every single, it is the Scooby-Doo rule.
Mm-hmm.
You just end up tying them up. Sometimes you make them dizzy and then you tie them up.
Yeah.
This time they just push. I mean, they're outnumbered, frankly. I mean, once you get the monster on your side, it's just Dr. Mendoza and Groot. I mean,
yeah.
That's not hard.
No.
Why did that take a whole romp?
Well, it's again, you can't, you gotta, the way to defeat evil is with a campy montage of, gags and chasing.
Yeah.
And set to music. It's just,
you're right. It's the rules.
Yeah.
But still, like a lot of times, it's like somebody really scary. It's like a gangster or something. This is just like come on, that the monster wasn't going to go against the Monkees. He's on their side.
Well, yeah. I mean, it was set up early, when Peter, came up and looked up at him and stroked his lapels. And,
right.
Oh,
and he wanted to keep him as a pet. Yeah, I forgot about that part. Yeah. He's like, you said I can have a pet.
Yeah.
So then we cut to Mike on the phone. He's made himself quite at home. He's got his feet up on the desk.
Yeah.
He's on the phone with the cops, telling them about the scary house at the top of the hill. That's when we find out that it's Rosebud Lane.
Yeah. That was weird to just spoil that for people who hadn't seen,
isn't it?
Yet. Like, wow.
Another joke that I did not get because I didn't even understand what he said. Actually, because he says slid. And I'm like, what's a slid? I had no idea what Mike in his Texas accent actually said for the longest time.
Yeah. Yeah. But for them to just spoil that like that back in, back at that time, they didn't have
1967.
Yeah. You had to just to go see that movie, you had to, find a place that was showing it. So,
yeah, I wonder if anybody watching it. Well, they didn't really say Citizen Kane. Well,
I guess maybe not. Like, but still, it was just definitely like an inside joke.
Yeah.
I guess if you've seen the movie, you get it, and if you haven't, it's just you're gonna be like, oh, it's a dumb joke I don't get. But hey, it's the Monkees. It's funny.
Monkees. So they call the cops, and they've got them tied up. Hey, do we see the monster at the end?
No, I didn't. I don't think I saw the monster at the end.
Yeah, I think it's just Dr. Mendoza and Groot.
Mm-hmm.
That's weird. Anyway, so Mickey assures them that he reversed everything. They have their musical abilities back. It's all good. And so then they say, oh, let's try it out. And so Davey picks up his maracas because he's got to find out, can I play these maracas? And they pick up their instrument, the guitars, and I guess plug them into the amps. I don't know. And they're holding the instruments kind of weird. And you're like, that's not how you hold a guitar. And then crackle, kapow, flash, and the instruments fall apart immediately and things are on fire. And
oh, Mickey.
Mickey. You've loaded them up with electrical energy or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's very silly. And they all huddle and are frightened and scared. And that's the end of the episode. And I still love this episode, even though I got really tired. Boy, this one tired me out because there's so many jokes in it. There's not a lot of plot.
It's also, it's tough dealing with a teenager. So.
Yes. Oh, teenage monster.
Yeah.
Sweet Richard Kiel.
I feel like if they made that episode today, they would have cross-promoted it with Monster Energy Drink. Like that would have been a better tie-in.
Like somebody would have had a Monster Energy drink and during the romp, and then just been full of energy and stuff.
Yeah.
All right. So, what did you think of?
I enjoyed the heck out of that. I forgot how. I mean, like I said, the last time I probably watched an episode of the Monkees was, in my tweens or earlier. And so a lot of it just went, whiz bang right by me. And, I don't know if I ever saw this particular episode, but in fact, if you really held me to it, I probably couldn't even tell you what episode I did see the last time. But I mean, it was fun to go back to this, and I really enjoyed like the takes of the camera and the fourth wall breakage, and clearly people having just a lot of fun, and not being too serious, and it's and it's all you know, when I was in college theater, we had a thing called All Bits In, and it was usually the final Sunday of a run of a show. And every bit that we had ever said during rehearsals or, you know, in the green room before the show, anything where we were running lines and making some joke out of a line, we would try to work those bits into the actual play.
Oh boy.
It was college. We didn't care.
Right.
So, you know, and that's kind of what this feels like, is like, hey, it's, you know, we're doing this for cereal money. Let's just, you know, let's go for it. You know, Kellogg's is paying and we're playing, you know. So
Yeah.
I love that. You know, I love the idea of just, you know, having a blast on a corporate dime.
So fun.
Yeah.
It's just so many jokes.
Yeah.
So many dumb jokes.
Yes.
And I love them scaring each other. I love that Peter wants to adopt the monster immediately. I love Mickey with the cane turning on the machine, waggling those coils. And the camera just follows the cane around the machine as he does these things.
Yeah.
It's so stupid.
I have to think that and just the performance of John Hoyt.
Hoyt. Yeah.
It's just the commitment to the bits was just epic. I mean, I couldn't, you know, he was so committed. And like you said, the mugging and just this is dry. Let's make it really wet, you know.
Okay, Tom, that went somewhere weird, but
no, I meant like, you know, dry humor versus wet humor.
I got you.
Yeah.
So
but maybe a little bit of that too. Maybe.
Oh, yeah. So sounds like your MVP might be the same as mine. I'm going to go with John Hoyt because, God damn it, he had so many stupid jokes. That phone joke was dumb, but he did it. The vampire werewolf joke was dumb, and then he had my favorite one was the little boy that lives down the lane. John Hoyt. Did I say Voight? I might have said Voight.
It's hard to
John Hoyt. That's my MVP.
Yeah. I had a struggle with picking a top because Hoyt was so clearly, you know, the thespian on stage, you know, the thespian in the camera.
Yeah.
But also I do feel like Richard Kiel, he brought it too, you know.
Yeah, he did.
He committed, he was in it. He, you know, he let himself be dressed in the clothing that they dressed him in, and he played it off, and he, you know, I mean, yeah, he's playing to type, but he played it to type and took it a little bit farther.
Yeah. He really looked like he was having fun too.
But that's I don't think that's hard to do on one of those sets. Right. I don't know how much of a challenge it is to have fun when you're, you know, when the Monkees are on stage and you're doing these goofy, dumb gags. But I do think that I'm gonna have to hand, like you said, hand it to Hoyt. I think he took it so just. I mean, God, he took it through the end zone and out back to the tunnel, out into the parking lot. You know, put it in the trunk of his car, drove it home. You know, tucked it goodnight, give it a goodnight kiss. Woke it up the next morning, made it breakfast, brought it back. You know, in the baby seat, made sure it had its binky and its blanket, and just cradled it the whole way. Like, just absolutely,
absolutely amazing,
total commitment.
Something I forgot about good old Dick Kiel. When they were doing in the romp, when they were doing the football huddle thing, he was shooed away from the huddle.
Yeah,
and he like takes to camera and shrugs, like, oh, you know, we just gotta wait. It's so cute.
Yeah,
it's adorable.
And the other thing for Kiel, the big thing for me with Kiel was he was the transitional tool that they got to the montage, and he played it off so well. That dance. He went into the that dance. That's the the guy from names. I'm 51. I don't remember names.
Yeah.
Clayton. I don't want to say Clayton. I'm sorry. The guy from Fresh Prince.
The guy from Fresh Prince.
He had the horrible dance.
Clayton. Now you've got me saying Clayton.
It's not Clayton. It's something, isn't it? Oh God, it's
Carlton. The Carlton.
Carlton, thank you. Yeah, that dance.
He's doing the Carlton.
He's kind of doing the Carlton a little bit, and it's like I said, he pulls it off. He does it well. He goes from not being able to choose which thing into a nice, smooth transition to a Carlton, which starts the scene.
Yeah.
And he did it. Like, it was like, okay, I like this part.
It was very cute.
It brought my smile back.
Oh, were you still worried about the Monkees? You're like, oh, it's gonna be okay.
After that, by the huddle, I knew things were okay. Everything was all right.
All right. Oh, great. Okay, thank you so much. All right. So before we go, we play a game called Park Coffee Shins Bank.
Okay.
Which monkey? Maybe I should open this up. Well, no, it's fun to do with the monkeys. Which monkey would you like to go to the park with? Which monkey would you like to have a coffee with? Which monkey would you kick in the shins? And which monkey would you rob a bank with?
Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to go backwards. I think I'm going backwards. The rob a bank.
Mm-hmm.
It's hands down Mickey.
Ah, interesting.
He's got the gadget skills. I'm going to need technical expertise and know-how, and I'm probably going to need wiring to zap people, and and he's good with a cane. You never know when that's going to come in handy.
Got to joggle some coils.
Pull some switches, joggle some coils. Yes. I'm probably going to go. You say play frisbee in the park?
Or go to the park with.
Okay, yeah, park. That's Mike, I think. He just looks like he'd be fun at the park. The hat. The kind of the down home, Texas, that kind of thing. That's just I don't know. It feels like
maybe have a barbecue.
He's an outdoors. He seems like an outdoorsy guy, right?
Yeah.
Isn't he kind of the outdoorsy
barbecue?
One? And then coffee.
Mm-hmm.
And the other one was coffee, and then
kick in the shins.
Kick in the shins. Yeah, I'd normally pick kick in the shins with Peter. But after seeing him take that fall in this episode, I'd worry I just injure him more. Like, he doesn't take injury well. So I'm going to go ahead and kick Davey in the shins just because I don't want to do it more to Peter.
Okay.
And then I'll go have coffee. I'll go have coffee and make sure that Peter's okay.
Oh, very sweet. Very nice.
We have a nice chat and just say, are you okay?
I like the way you think. Not a lot of people pick Mike for the park. That's interesting. That's very nice. I feel good.
I feel like he'd bring a guitar and we could, sing some tunes and hang out.
Mike at the park. All right. Well, thank you very much, pre-licensed therapist Tom Hensley.
Oh, thank you. I had a blast. This was really fun. I had a blast.
Oh, I'm glad.
Yeah.
Is there where can people follow you and catch up with your adventures?
You can see me on my Twitter. I have one, but I'm pretty dark. Like I don't know.
I think we all are.
I guess. Yeah. Right. These days. You can find me on Twitter. I'm just at Tom Hensley, but there's 2 Y's in my last name because when I first started my Twitter years ago, there was already a Tom Hensley, and there's also another Tom Hensley, but he has a different Twitter handle. Who is just as weird. He is the keyboard player for Neil Diamond. Isn't that wild? And he follows me back on Twitter. Like, I started following him. He followed me back. We now, he now knows I exist. I've known he's existed. And we have there's a weird, the Kennedy Lincoln connection. There's a weird connection between us. Like, my son's name is Neil D, like his middle initial is D. Which is Neil. He's not named after Neil Diamond, but I have a Neil D in my life. He's got a Neil D in his life. We both live in Sherman Oaks, both named Tom Hensley. It's weird. There's a weird connection there. And he knows about none of that. I made that up. I mean, that's all true, but I'm the only one who really talks about it.
Okay. That's fair.
Anyway, so that's my main, if you want to see something I say.
Follow Tom. Tom's good. Tom's a good follow, everybody.
Thanks. Get me to 3,000. I'm like 100 away. That would be fun.
Woo. Oh boy. All right, let's do it.
And then listen to this. This is something that I used to have a podcast about soundtracks that was fun. It doesn't exist on the internet. And if you found it, hi Mom. So
oh boy. Okay. Oh, all right. Okay. All right. It made me sad. I feel sad now. Like, oh, your podcast is gone. that going to happen to me? I hope not.
Oh, no, you never keep doing it.
No, I'm in an existential crisis. Oh no. So everybody, you've been listening to the Monkees podcast. You know that. Subscribe, leave a rating and review on Apple Podcasts. Yeah. What happened to my reviews, folks? I went to go check, and the last review was from July. Now I know I kind of let things drop a little bit. I've been having technical issues, but I need some more reviews to thank people. So, let's get some reviews up there. You can find us on all social media at Monkees Podcast, SPAWDCAST. Support the show by getting official podcast merch at dragonwagonshop.com. We have masks now. A little late. That's all right. We still need them. We still need them. So get a mask. Get a Monkees Podcast mask. That'll be fun. And then you can mumble to people. And that'll be fun. Thank you, Tom, again for joining me today.
Thank you. This was a lot of fun. Thanks for having me on.
This was super fun, and I hope my new laptop worked. And thank you for the good juju that Jake was sending me. I texted him and told him I'm trying to record on my new laptop. And he's like, "I'll send you good vibes." So thank you, Jake, for the good vibes. And everybody, let's see. Should I steal somebody's sign off? Make it a good week. Yeah, I'm stealing somebody else's sign off. Make it a good week. All right. Bye, everybody. Thank you. Bye. 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 Say goodbye.
I'm literally waving.
Oh, yay. Thanks. Oh, wait. Tom is waving. Wave. All right. Bye, everybody.
Hey, this is Zen Zenith just sneaking in to say check out the House Show with Zen Zenith. That's me on Dragon Wagon Radio. The House Show is a live concert series featuring stripped-down performances and interviews with amazing singer-songwriters. We do the whole thing in front of a real live audience at a real live house and package the whole thing up into a podcast for you to experience in the ease of your home or car. Real intimate performances, real intimate conversations with great people. Check it out at thehouseshowshow.com or on Spotify, Apple Music, or wherever else good podcasts are found. We'll see you there.
It's Dragon Wagon.